Hello, hello. How are you doing today? I'm Dina Cataldo. I am a coach for lawyers who want to grow their practice without growing their overwhelm. And I'm here to talk to you today about 5 mistakes I see lawyers making when it comes to productivity, when it comes to creating the practice that they want, getting the things done, and moving their goals forward. Before I get there, I want to do a follow up on the video I did last week. And if you are not subscribed to this page, if you haven't liked this page, or you haven't been following me for a while, be sure that you like this page because I am doing weekly videos to help you with your productivity, to inspire you to get engaged with your calendar. And one of the things I talked about last week was emergencies. And here in California, we had these huge storms this last week. And I had a roof issue I needed to handle the other day because there was a leak. And pretty much I had to stop everything on my calendar and move into action in a different direction. And because I had a calendar, I could easily go back to my week and say, oh, these are the things that I wanted to accomplish. They easily get moved to another day, another week. I can spread them out. But the calendar itself makes it so much easier when a true emergency comes up to handle it and not feel like your feathers are ruffled because you have the ability to go straight back to it. So if you go back to that video, I'll link to it below at the end of this video so you can watch it if you're watching the replay here. But in that video, we talk specifically about how to handle emergencies and when they come up. And speaking of emergencies, if you are hearing kind of a rumbling in the back, there have been trees that have been falling here in California, and a couple of them have been on the very corner of my house. And so during this planned Facebook Live, I can hear them cutting down those trees. So if you hear that too, that's what you are hearing. Okay, so let's talk about 5 mistakes that I see lawyers make that are really inhibiting their progress to move their practice forward, to grow their practice, to get things done, and to just plain feel calm when they are going through their week. So the very first mistake I see lawyers making is that they are not taking the responsibility for their time. They think that it is the planner that is supposed to do the work. So they spend a lot of time trying to find the perfect planner. They Google what's the best planner for lawyers. They try like 20 different planners. They're constantly changing their organization using a different planner. And that's really a big distraction because when we are using a planner and thinking that the planner is going to do the work, we fail to work the planner. So if we're not seeing a long-term result that we want, we get frustrated and we throw out the planner and we think there's something wrong with the planner. I see this all the time. We go out, we get a new planner. It's so pretty, it's fun. I know that a lot of lawyers are office supply junkies, right? And when you go out and you get a new planner, you feel really productive. You think, this is going to be the thing. This is going to be fun. I like this planner. You're having a lot of thoughts about the planner that are motivating you to use it. And then you start using it and you might see a difference for a couple weeks, and then you start to notice that things start to fall off. It has nothing to do with the planner. It has to do with the thoughts that you have about what you should be doing with that planner or how the planner is working. Because if you start thinking, oh, the planner's not working, then all of your attention is on the planner, and then we aren't looking specifically at the habits that we're creating that are not helping us. So what I do with my clients is we're working on their habits and how they think about their relationship with time, their relationship with work. And when we dig in and find those thoughts, we start to really clean things up and make their lives easier. Then it doesn't even matter what planner they have, right? I've been using the same planner, and right now I'm actually switching into something new, which is something that just takes some time and some thought. I would not suggest you do that very frequently. This is something I've changed in the last 4 years. This is something new I'm doing. But I want you to just pick a planner, doesn't matter what it is, and start to do the work. And you can download my Busy Lawyers Guide at the link in the comments or at dinacataldo.com/busy lawyer. It is a guide that will work no matter what planner you decide to use. I do suggest you pick one planner and you go with it, and that's it. But I also know successful lawyers who have multiple things that they use, and If it works for you, great. But just ask yourself, am I making my life easier or harder? And like the decision that you make. The second mistake I notice lawyers making is that when they are planning, they do not think about their primary goal. What they do is they think about all of the tasks that they want to get accomplished, working on this matter and that matter, and not thinking strategically long term about what their overall goal is. So, for instance, if your goal is to land a new client by the end of 2023, or it's to increase your revenue by $200,000 by the end of 2023, your job, right, literally your responsibility as the lawyer bringing in that business is going to be thinking about the long-term strategy for 2023 and what are going to be the most impactful actions that are going to get you to that goal. And you may take off the top of that, right? Like when I talk to my clients, it's often I want to make sure I'm making time for networking, that I am really connecting with my current clients to see what other work might be they need. So if that's what you need, that needs to be what's on the calendar first. So the very first thing you've got to do in order to avoid this mistake is to think about what is your goal for 2023 and then work backwards. What is your hypothesis for the actions you're going to need to take in order to achieve that goal? And then break it down. So if your overarching goal is to network more, what does that look like? Does that mean once a month? Does that mean twice a month? Find out what your current rate of networking is, whatever it is that you're doing, and double it. Whatever it is in your brain is thinking that you need to create that goal. When I work with my clients, we get really specific. We create a really great plan for them that's doable. But if you're doing this on your own, which you definitely can, I want you to know what your goal is and break it down and work backwards. Because then you know month by month what your main needle moving actions are going to be, and you can incorporate that into your plan. All right, so then the what am I on? Two? Oh, the third problem that I see is that the lawyers that I talk to, they don't write everything down. And that's like one of the very first things in the Busy Lawyers Guide I walk you through is how to write everything down. You actually want a designated time every single week to write down all of your thoughts about all of the tasks that are on your brain so that you can just pour it all out. And then anytime your brain starts to worry, you can just say, okay, no, I've written it down. It's okay. Everything's okay. I've written it down. I'm not going to forget. And then when you plan your week, you get to choose the ones that are the needle moving activities, the ones that are the most important to you, and then you can start to build out your plan for the week. And then because you're incorporating that longer term plan into the shorter term, the week, you're going to start seeing compound interest throughout the year that's inevitably going to move you closer to your long-term goal. The fourth mistake I see lawyers make is believing that they need to get everything done. And this makes a huge difference because if you're constantly telling yourself that this isn't done, I've got to get this done, when really it doesn't have to get done this week, it could be done in a month, your stress levels, your overwhelm is going to go sky high. So it's really important to watch how you think about your time, how you think about your calendar, how you think about the assignments that are on your desk and in the queue. This is a big thing that I work on with my clients because they too think that, right? Like it just feels true. I have so much work to get done, and you want to get it all done now because you think you're going to feel better when it's all done. The fact of the matter is you are going to have assignments on your desk. You're going to have things in the queue. You're going to have emails until you stop living, right? You are going to have things to do until you die. So learn how to manage your mind around the tasks that you have now so you can enjoy your life. So if you notice yourself feeling stressed out, or maybe you're short of breath, start to ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Oftentimes, it's because we've got this thought that we have a lot to do, that we've got to get more done. And really, the thought that I will offer to you is that it will get done. I have a calendar, and I'm planning ahead of time. So I don't need to do everything right now. I need to do the most important things right now. Those are some thoughts that I would offer to you to practice. Okay, I teach my clients how to do that, but for the purposes of this video, I want you to just know that your brain is gonna, because it's so practiced at thinking that it's got to all get done. I want you to notice when you're feeling stressed out, and if that's the thought you're thinking, because our thoughts create our feelings, your thoughts can be shifted. You just say, okay, I know that my brain is telling me I need to get it all done now, but I don't. What I really need to do are the three most important things to do today, that are the three most important things to do this week. That's what's going to move the needle, and everything else can get moved off to the next week. And just keep reminding yourself of this. Everything will be okay. That's something that you can remind yourself of. Okay, so the fifth mistake that I see lawyers make, and this is such an easy fix, I can't wait to give it to you. So if you've got a really big project and you go into overwhelm, right? You're just like, I don't even know where to start. And then you start busying yourself with something else. You ever notice yourself doing that? If you have, let me know in the comments. But if you find yourself busying yourself with anything, cleaning your desk, doing a matter that's not due for like 2 months because it's just easy and you feel productive, this is for you. Because putting off those projects that are likely due sooner, or are projects that have more moving pieces to them, can feel really hard. But what I want to offer to you is that when you think about a project and you have some resistance to getting started on it, all that's happened is that you haven't broken it down to the simplest pieces. And when we do that, it's easier to get our brain on board starting a project. So for instance, let's say you have a big piece of litigation or a big hearing you're prepping for. And you are looking at it and you're like, I do not even want to touch the file. It's just like too big. It looks too hard. This is what I will offer for you as a solution. Just pause, okay? Notice that you're resisting. Notice that you don't want to do it, okay? None of that is wrong. It's okay. But what I want you to do is pull out a piece of paper, grab your pen, and then instead of actually working on the project, I want you to write down every little piece of what needs to happen for the project to be completed. So that might look like answer an email, make a phone call to opposing counsel to get an outline of something, outline your argument, spend 30 minutes researching a certain topic, call a witness, whatever it is, right? You're going to write down all of the little things, and then all you need to get your brain on board with is doing the very first thing that will get the ball rolling. That might just be make a phone call. It might just be respond to an email. Like, do something very little that will help you get the ball rolling. Get your brain on board with just the one discrete task instead of thinking about the huge task at hand, and just say, okay, I just need to do this one tiny piece, and that will help you get the ball rolling. All right, my friend, download the Busy Lawyer's Guide. You can go to dinacataldo.com/busy lawyer, or go down to the link in the comments, download it, and then come back here. I'm going to be doing these every week, Wednesdays at 8:30. Make sure you've liked this page and let me know what's going on with you. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. You can message me, and we're going to keep this rolling because I know these are helpful. I know that you and so many other lawyers are struggling with productivity and finding like the right thing to do. And I want to share with you that you can have a much better relationship with productivity and time. It just takes a little practice, and this is where you can get that practice. All right, my friend, I will talk to you soon. Bye.